A couple weeks ago, seniors learned the full calendar of end-of-the-year events and how our school will be handling graduation. But of course, one thing on every senior's mind is what the replacement for prom is going to be. Well, today we've got junior class sponsor Kim Finnegan and senior class sponsor Caitlin Coomer here with us to give us some more details. Ms. Finnegan and Ms. Coomer, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Savannah.
This year is very different, obviously. So what kind of considerations did you have to take into account when you were planning what you planned for this year?
So even starting with Peyton Park, I had to schedule that be socially distanced, so I had to spread everyone out through a whole week. Everyone had a different day. I skipped parking spots. I skipped like diagonal, so there was like kids not painting right on top of each other. And then going into senior shirts, we couldn't even sell senior shirts in person. We had to do pre-orders and get all that done. And so everything's just had to look a little bit differently. And now coming into spring, and we're still dealing with the pandemic, and so we have to make more changes, and it's just one thing after another, and we're working so hard together as a team to figure out what can we do to make it the best of the situation that we're in, how to make it the most fun, get you guys the most events that you're allowed to attend. Unfortunately, Universal just canceled Grad Bash, but we're still trying to figure out what else we can do for you guys to just make it a really fun senior year given the circumstances.
Yeah, a lot of the planning that we did at the beginning of this year, we were hoping that, for example, prom was going to happen. So when I first met with the juniors, we were talking about theme, we were talking about what we were going to pull from last year, what we were going to do new, and then things changed. So we're basically planning from the bottom up again. We don't have from the fall forward to plan. So a lot of our planning this year has been scrambling to adjust, but to still make things as memorable as possible, since this is their last year, and they didn't get a lot of the stuff last year because they were juniors and because of everything that was starting. So this group of seniors has missed a lot. So we're trying to make that as memorable and less painful than last year.
So could you give us a rundown on what events have been planned and what you've had to consider when planning them?
I think everything boils down to social distancing. Everything boils down to the CDC guidelines, and then boils down to what the county is going to allow us to do, and then we have to work within those parameters. Whether people agree or disagree, that's what we need to do, and we have to do it to accommodate anywhere from 300 to 600 kids or more, plus families and parents. So that's the logistics that we're dealing with, and I think Ms. Coomer has more.
So ultimately, like the biggest thing a lot of our seniors were concerned about was the number of family members able to attend. So that's why we focused more on the auditorium setting. We didn't want you guys to have to graduate alone. So we were trying to figure out how we could maximize the number of people that you could graduate friends-wise, and as well as maximize the amount of family you can bring. So that's how we came up with the 25 graduates per time slot. You guys can have up to 10 guests per graduate to attend, so you can have a decent crowd of 250 people watching you. And we're still trying to add some more things. I know you guys got a letter out explaining some more events that are coming up. There's going to be a senior farewell ceremony, which that's going to have speeches that you would usually get on the day of graduation. We're just going to do it earlier. You also are going to get a chance to take your senior panoramic picture. So that's pretty exciting. And we're just trying to add in some more senior events we'll still have a senior week with dress up days, but instead of doing all the events in 1 week, we're going to spread them out just in case someone's quarantined. We don't want someone to have to miss all of the events during that 1 week. So we're going to try to spread them out to make it more accessible to everyone. And if you have ideas on different events, feel free to mention them to the SGA seniors. I'm meeting with them regularly on how to make these events the most fun and what they think you guys want to do too.
So the formal and informal event that's listed on the calendar, what details can you give us about that?
So we're trying to make this senior formal, informal event as accessible as possible, but still make it something memorable, still make it something beautiful, still make it something that's special, exclusive for these seniors. So we are doing it outside. We will have tents. It will be April 10th at Oviedo on the Park. We will be setting up photo taking stations, which is what the kids always do anyways. They go to Oviedo in the Park, they go to Winter Springs, Cranes Roost to get pictures. But the difference this year is it's reserved only for Oviedo seniors. So there won't be other schools vying. They won't be fighting for parking spaces because we will have that entire amphitheater and the park in front of it rented. We're still working on exact times, but there will be a time for photos, a sit-down dinner, and then there will be activities after that are still in development, but we're trying to do more than just, hey, come on, sit down for a dinner, enjoy your friends, and then leave. So we're trying to do some other things. We'll still do a court. The dress, we tried to leave it open to formal, informal, because again, a lot of the juniors purchased their dresses last year. The guys still might want to dress up, so we want that option open. But at the same time, other people may not want to go purchase a dress. So as long as they're dressy and not, cutoffs, jeans, t-shirts, and that sort of thing, we wanted to leave that open so everybody could kind of be in their comfort zone. We're still doing, served meals and all that kind of stuff. We'll have music, just not dancing. And like I said, we'll make it as beautiful and glamorous as possible with what we have. But we have to consider, the majority of the kids and try to keep it under, $50-$60 for a ticket as opposed to $120 to $150 that it would have been if we kept it at the hotel for just a meal. We will transform the area. It's not going to be open fields and picnics on the ground. It will look like a special event, and it will be just for Oviedo seniors.
Great. Well, Ms. Finnegan and Ms. Coomer, thanks so much for your time, and we appreciate all you're working to do to put everything together this year.